JT Daniels was supposed to be the next star quarterback for USC and was the top guy in his class at one point. But his college career has not gone as planned so far, but he might be turning things around. He had an okay season at USC, would get injured his second one, and then get beat out by Kedon Slovis and transfer to Georgia, where he has so far dealt with injury and controversy. But last week he put a lot of that to rest and raised a lot of questions about Georgia's quarterback situation as he threw for over 400 yards and looked like a star. He was even good enough to be projected as a first-round pick according to some mock drafts after one game. And he looked really good. So just how good can JT Daniels be? Could he be a first-round pick? And how did he get to this point? Today we will talk about the entire football story of JT Daniels and why he could be a future star in the NFL someday. But first, I am joined by my good friend Jonathan over from Embrace the Grind YouTube. He makes videos just like this. He tells the stories of different players, so be sure to check out his channel and help him get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of 2020. Be sure to give the video a like, comment your thoughts, suggest a future video topic, and stay until the end. Now let's get started with the rise of JT Daniels. Let's go back in time and tell the entire JT Daniels football story, starting with his dad Steve, who would become the most important figure in JT's life. Steve played linebacker and quarterback and was an honorable mention All-State player as a senior. He went to college at Western Michigan, but not on a football scholarship, and he lived off student loans and government grants, and he would get his football fix by playing flag football for the intramural team, and he actually led them to the national championship in their tournament. Steve would later on get married and move back to Southern California, where they would raise their third kid, and his name was Jonathan Tyler Daniels, JT for short. Like father, like son, JT took up football, and it became the focal points of their lives. At 5 years old, JT started playing. He was a running back. At 9, he won his first quarterback job. At 12, he had shown so much promise at the position that his dad felt like it was time to have a conversation with his son. He told him that he had two rare traits, accuracy and an aptitude for mental processing, and that he could basically go as far as he wanted in the game of football as long as he was willing to give it everything he had. His dad quit his job to focus on his son's football career, and he would take him to camps with inner city kids to make him tougher. They were both committed to the game of football, and they traveled around America playing. He trained with a professional trainer and always read books and asked questions to get better. In his freshman year at the prestigious Mater Dei High School, JT competed with junior Matt McDonald for the starting job. It was supposedly a really close race, but they would go with the veteran to start the year. In the second game, McDonald got injured, and JT took the job for good for the rest of his career after this. He would go on to win the 2017 Gatorade National Player of the Year and was a national championship caliber guy. An internet rumor surfaced that JT was considering reclassifying to the 2018 class, but he apparently said that was untrue, but it did spark conversation, and his dad privately wondered if he could keep JT engaged for another year and if he could keep him from going to college early. Turns out he couldn't, and JT decided to reclassify into the 2018 recruiting cycle, but where was he going to go? It would come down to Michigan, Stanford, and USC. Went where most kids go, and a lot of Mater Dei guys like Barkley and Whittick went, and that was USC. And this is what he had to say about the commitment. USC is where I'm from, it's where I'm most comfortable and have the best vibe with, and there was no reason to leave home when I have everything I want here. I want to get this done early and focus on my season and start recruiting not just my class in 2019, but the 2018 class too. I'm going to be very active and have a lot of guys I plan to hit up. So he was not only going to go to USC, but he was going to help other guys get there. And since Sam Darnold was headed to the NFL, Daniels was going to get a chance to potentially start. According to 24/7 Sports, JT was a 5-star recruit, the number 22 pro-style quarterback, and the 15th best player in the class of 2019. He had gotten a tattoo of the Mater Dei mascot on his leg, and he also got one for USC, and he says he plans on getting one for Georgia, and he'll probably do whatever NFL team he ends up playing for. I just wanted to add in that fun fact. But now I'm going to turn it over to Jonathan.
Hey everyone, my name is Embrace the Grind. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to Scott's channel. He makes amazing sports content and you will not be disappointed. When JT Daniels first got to USC, he needed to compete against redshirt sophomore Matt Fink and redshirt freshman Jack Sears for the starting quarterback job. Fink was the only player who had had in-game experience. JT won the battle and took over the starting spot. The season did not go as planned, as USC went 5-7, their first losing season since 2000, and Daniels put up less than stellar numbers. Daniels finished the season throwing for 2,672 passing yards, 14 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions, while only completing 59.5% of his passes. Going into his sophomore season, Daniels was in a quarterback battle once again. He competed against Fink and Sears again, along with freshman Kedon Slovis. Daniels won the job for his second year in a row and was excited to work in Graham Harrell's air raid offense. Daniels' season started and ended very quickly as he suffered a torn ACL during the season opener against Fresno State and was out for the rest of the season. He finished the season throwing for 215 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception, while completing 73.5% of his passes. The freshman Slovis played extremely well, throwing for 3,502 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions, and led USC to an 8-5 record, going 7-2 in conference. Instead of staying to compete in a quarterback battle for the 3rd season in a row at USC, JT Daniels decided he would rather transfer. I personally don't believe he transferred due to the quarterback battle, because he would not have chosen Georgia with 4 other quarterbacks on their roster. I think being from Southern California and being a highly rated prospect, along with attending a school he had probably dreamed about going to since he was a kid, added a lot of pressure. Then to not perform up to expectations your first year, and then suffer a serious injury your second year, probably caused Daniels to want a fresh start. Like I said, Daniels decided to transfer across the country to play for the Georgia Bulldogs. JT Daniels applied and received immediate eligibility from the NCAA before the start of the season. He was set to compete against fellow transfer Jamie Newman for the Bulldogs starting quarterback job. That was until Jamie Newman shocked everyone and decided to opt out of the 2020 season so he could focus on the NFL draft. The team doctors would not clear Daniels to play at first due to Daniels not having full mobility yet from his previous injury. Kirby Smart decided he'd rather be conservative with JT's injury rather than rush him back and risking further damage. Along with that, Stetson Bennett was playing well for the Bulldogs, but once Bennett struggled against Alabama, Kentucky, and Florida, along with the postponement of the Missouri game, Smart decided it was time for a change at quarterback and turned to Daniels, who was now fully healed. Daniels debuted for Georgia against Mississippi State and threw for 401 yards and 4 touchdowns. We will never know what may have happened if Daniels had started for the Bulldogs against Alabama and Florida, and Bulldogs fans can only look to the future. Will JT Daniels be participating in a 4th straight quarterback battle against Brock Vandagriff in 2021? We will have to wait and see. It is time to toss this video back to Scott.
I really appreciate you coming on today, Jonathan, to tell JT Daniels' story. And if you haven't already, check out Embrace the Grind YouTube. You definitely won't regret it, and help this guy get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of 2020. Let me know what you think of JT Daniels down in the comment section, and if he could be a first-round pick. Check out my other video about the rise of Kedon Slovis and all my videos on 2020 college football stars. I hope to see you guys again soon, but until next time, peace.